You're watching India Prime, another centre versus judiciary battle. The Supreme Court on Thursday said the Lokpal Act is a workable piece of legislation and there's no justification to keep it pending. WION's correspondent Jessica Taneja has this report.
A blow to the government in the Supreme Court. The Apex Court on Thursday made it clear that the Lokpal Act is a workable piece of legislation and appointment of the anti-corruption ombudsman cannot be kept pending. The judgment was delivered by Justices Ranjan Gogoi and Naveen Sinha on a PIL filed by NGO Common Cause.
The centre had argued in court that since there is no leader of opposition in Lok Sabha and his presence is required for the selection of Lokpal in the committee, Lokpal has not been operationalized.
The centre argued in court that the bill has been moved in Parliament and will be taken up during the monsoon session. On the other hand, the NGO represented by Shanti Bhushan argued that the government shows no intention to operationalize the Lokpal.
Well, I think it's a welcome thing. For 3 years, this Lokpal law has been enforced, and unfortunately it is not being effectuated. No Lokpal is being appointed, and the government has been making this various silly excuses.
The Lokpal and Lokayukta Act was passed in December 2013. It brought all public servants as well as the Central Bureau of Investigation under its ambit. Every state was to establish a Lokayukta. The CBI was to have a Directorate of Prosecution to help the Lokpal. The Central Vigilance Commission was to appoint the Director of Prosecution. And a panel of advocates to conduct cases referred to the CBI by the Lokpal. However, months after the Lokpal bill was passed, it is still in cold storage.
Now it will all depend on the centre's will whether Lokpal will become a reality during the monsoon season or not. Till then, it's anyone's guess. This is Jessica Taneja with video journalist Ankit Singh for WION in New Delhi.
All right, so let's talk a bit more about this. What's really happened to the Lokpal Act? What are the different problems that it now faces as far as implementation is concerned, the roadblocks that it faces? Shama Mohammed of the Congress joins us live from Mumbai. KTS Tulsi, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court, he joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you, both of you, for joining us on India Prime this evening. Let me start by asking you, Shama, at this point, do you think it's simply a case of lack of will on the government's part, or is there something more to it?
It's definitely a lack of will. I mean, they always point fingers at the Congress party. Now, let's just take a look at how did this Lokpal come? In 2011, in April 2011, we introduced the bill in the Lok Sabha. In August 2011, it went to the Standing Committee, and by December 2011, we passed it in the Lok Sabha. Then the obstructionists in the BJP, created ruckus. It went, they said, in the Rajya Sabha, they sent it to a select committee in May 2012. They got back to us in November, they gave it back to the Lok Sabha in November, and by December 2012, we passed the bill. I mean, December 2012, it came to us, and by December 2013, we passed the bill. Right. So we have enacted the bill, we have done our job. But then, it's been 3 years since then, and they have not yet appointed a Lokpal, and that is very, very strange. I mean, it's a government which wants to fight corruption, but this is a bill, appointing a Lokpal fights corruption. Now, I mean, I really don't understand what is the reason why they do not want to appoint a Lokpal.
All right. Well, there could be many reasons. We'll try and find out what those reasons perhaps could be as far as the government is concerned. Mr. KTS Tulsi, thanks so much for joining us. Do you see this as another centre versus judiciary battle?
No, it's not centre versus judiciary. Judiciary is only concerned with the fact that if the law has been made, it should be made operational. And what else is this? Why is the judiciary supposed to have running battles with the government? It's the government's duty to give effect to the law. You see, one can draw one's own conclusions as to why the Lokpal is not being appointed, because when the government has to appoint director CBI, they invite the leader of opposition,
Right.
the leader of largest party in opposition, and he sits in the selection committee along with the Prime Minister, and the decisions are taken, director is appointed.
Absolutely. The
When
same thing happened in the
Chief
Delhi
Election
Special Police
Commissioner,
Establishment Act.
Chief Information Commissioner,
Right.
when there was need to appoint the Vigilance Commissioner, Chief Vigilance Commissioner, then also the leader of largest party in opposition was invited to attend the meeting. Similarly, Chief Information Commissioner, when they were then also the leader of the largest opposition party in Lok Sabha was invited. I don't know. This is not the reason. The reason is perhaps the government does not want any control over its activities, and they perhaps government may be apprehensive that they will lose absolute control over the CBI.
Sana, can I come in?
CBI
Absolutely,
will then
absolutely.
be working
Sir,
under
you've
the
made a
control of
pertinent
the
point over there. Shama wants to come in, and you know, we've had instances where the Lokpal Act has been diluted. You know, when it comes to the diluting assets disclosure, we've seen that happen. So perhaps that could be one of the reasons. Shama, very quickly, then we'll go to another guest who's joined us on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, also you have to understand PM Modi is allergic to Lokpal and Lokayukta. When he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, he blocked from 2003 to 2006 General Vyas becoming the Lokayukta. From 2006 to 2009, he blocked Justice Soni from becoming the Lokayukta. I'm sorry, Justice Vyas and Justice Soni. And then finally in 2011, a Lokayukta was appointed, Justice Mehta. Then the Gujarat government went to the Supreme Court, filed a petition against that Lokayukta. So you can see how Mr. Modi has worked against appointing a Lokayukta in his own state. So how do you expect him to appoint a Lokpal over here? I mean, that itself is a point.
Absolutely.
You know,
we saw that 10-year gap clearly. Apart from that one instance that you mentioned, 2003 to 2013, no Lokpal in the state of Gujarat. Pankaj Pushkar, spokesperson of Swaraj India, is with us here in the studio. Pankaj, thanks for joining us here. You know, what really happened, you know, the Aam Aadmi Party, Anna Hazare, we saw that movement. Everybody thought that this is something that will work out. India will be corruption-free. And we saw that happen. The act was made. The UPA did whatever it could. But now it seems to have hit a roadblock. Why do you think that has happened?
To begin with, let me clarify. I belong to Swaraj Abhiyan and not to technically Swaraj India.
Okay.
And I have been a soldier of Anna movement and a movement for Lokpal, Jan Lokpal. So here point is that once upon a time there was almost a consensus in the entire political spectrum, entire political establishment that will have adequately empowered instrument to curb the corruption in entire political this establishment. So the failure of Modi government and the betrayal from the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi, it accumulated in a kind of a vacuum in anti-corruption movement in India. So now means judiciary has come up with a clear mandate that it is something which is required for a national society, and we are here to uphold it. So point is that at the moment when Modi government do not face any opposition from any party, it's almost a non-oppositional political spectrum.
Right.
Here, so the apex Supreme Court, apex judiciary is here to honor the constitutional mandate of having a Lokpal without any excuse.
Right.
So means I can invoke all the political powers to support the idea that political parties are there, various governments are there, but there are certain things which are beyond political consideration. There are certain things beyond political parties consideration. So here we are.
Right. So, but one thing is clear, Mr. KTS Tulsi, you know, before I come to you, I want to quote what Sushma Swaraj said when they were in opposition. She said that an old man who keeps fasting to fight against corruption and appeal to our collective conscience. And soon after, Arun Jaitley said that we are ready to pass the Lokpal bill without a debate when it was a bill. That was the BJP stand. Something obviously has changed. Therefore, we see the government not interested perhaps at this moment it's about, Mr. KTS Tulsi, bringing a small amendment, isn't it? Explain to us what's really needed, to move ahead, to move forward, whether it be leader of opposition appointment or just get the leader from the largest opposition party and just go ahead with it.
Of course, they could invite the leader of the largest opposition party, and that's happening in other appointments. I don't know what's the problem here. The problem seems to be perhaps that the BJP, while in opposition, wants Lokpal. When they are in government, they don't want Lokpal, because Lokpal will then perhaps exercise great amount of control over their actions and probe the allegations, which may turn out to be embarrassing. It seems to me that no government wants. It's a different thing. Dr. Manmohan Singh was a different kettle of fish. So he said that, no, I want this. But if the BJP now changes its stance and is turning 180 degrees away from Lokpal, it's very sad commentary.
All right. Shama,
it's sad commentary, particularly for a government.
Right, Mr. KTS Tulsi. Shama, Mukul Rohatgi, who's representing the centre as far as this case is concerned, he said the judiciary must respect the separation of powers and can't direct Parliament to pass amendments. It is the wisdom of the Parliament to pass it. Now, when he says the wisdom of the Parliament, I see only the BJP over here, who is accountable, the party in power, who can actually make decisions at this point so that this act can be implemented.
Yes, I mean, I second what Mr. Tulsi says. They have appointed in many other sections because the problem they're saying is the leader of the opposition. But what we need is leader in the amendment should be the leader of the opposition of the single largest party. They have to add that, and that just would take an hour or 30 seconds. But why are they not doing that? Number one. So, of course, the onus lies on the Bharatiya Janata Party. They accuse the Congress Party of corruption and all those things. But let me tell them, the Congress Party got in the RTI, I mean, which anybody can ask any questions. The Congress Party enacted the Lokpal and Lokayukta bill, which is to fight corruption. So Congress Party walks the talk. BJP keeps talking, but they don't walk the talk. We hear a lot of things, but what have they done to fight corruption? Which are the bills they have passed? So what we are asking the government of the day is appoint the Lokpal immediately. That's the next step. That is the most important step to fight corruption. And the bill is enacted. It's just that they have to make a small amendment to it. And they can, like Mr. Tulsi said, they have done it in others to make these amendments to appoint
so why
various
not in the
directors
Act?
And heads of various other organizations. So why not in the Lokpal?
Absolutely. Pankaj, how do you see, what's the future of the Lokpal Act? When will it be implemented? I mean, I'm sure you will be very close to the idea of this anti-corruption movement. What's the way forward?
In fact, I can see possibility of a civic society movement again. In fact, there is a continuous pattern of betrayal from various political parties on this front. And probably this is a time when a very efficient media management from the central government and another possible force, Aam Aadmi Party.
Is the Swaraj Abhiyan going to do anything about it?
Yeah, Swaraj Abhiyan in fact claim a direct legacy from the Anna movement, from the anti-corruption movement, and we are here not as a political party, not as a routine claimant for a political power, but we are here as a whistleblower, we are here as a claimant to keep that hope alive. So, but more than Swaraj Abhiyan, the entire wider spectrum of political movement and various other forces would join, and they would certainly keep this flame alive.
All right.
So this is the future of the Lokpal cannot be so black that it can be captive in the hand of certain political party.
All right. So the Congress says all efforts have been made by the UPA. The movement that was started, an act has been made. The roadblock is only the implementation. The common man is really looking for a corruption-free India. Will the common man's dreams come true? That's something that we'll have to wait and watch. I'd like to thank all of my guests, Mr. KTS Tulsi, Shama Mohammed and Pankaj Pushkar for joining me on India Prime. Taking a short break. Be right back with more news and updates.